Sabahınız khair. Good morning. Dear Mr. Adalat Muradov, Director of Azerbaijan State University, dear Mr. Ceyhun Bayramov, Deputy Minister of Education, dear MPs, Members of Parliament, the Deputy Minister of Economy, professors, distinguished professors and colleagues. I would like to first of all thank the university for inviting me to this very important conference. Indeed, the topic of education and its role in socio-economic development is very broad, but I would like to touch upon a few points which is important from the United Nations perspective and also sustainable development perspective. But before I get into some of those points, I would like to draw your attention to one very important fact and also relevance to this conference, which I was brought to my attention, and that is that every university is located in the vicinity of a remarkable historic legacy, and that is that the first secular school for Muslims was founded by philanthropist Zainal Abidin Tagayov in 1901. This is important because we have to talk, when we talk about education, we have to talk about equal access to both boys and girls and the role of education, and especially for women. Mr. Tagayov genuinely believed in the importance of education and enlightenment for bringing up educated, cultured, and broad-minded children. Indeed, he also founded an agriculture school and technical school, as well as providing scholarship for young Azerbaijanis to study in top universities in Russia and Europe. He was particularly passionate about the importance of educating girls and believed that educated mothers would be a driving force behind an educated family in the future. Tagayov's belief in the importance of education for all reflects how many of us feel today about gender equality. It's therefore very befitting that a conference on such an important subject is being held so close to this historical institution. The magnificent story of this neighboring school no doubt can still inspire us all to invest in education, both for boys and girls. Now let me turn to some of the other topics that's relevant for the UN. In Azerbaijan, the United Nations system has been supporting educational institutions, including this university and the role of education and socio-economic development. Our contribution have included providing support to students' career orientations and adapting curricula to the labor market requirements. The UN Development Program has cooperated with several universities to promote the concept of human development, within which education plays a central role. Human development focuses on people and their opportunities and choices. It's about expanding the richness of human life rather than simply the richness of the economy in which human beings live. The idea of human development stipulates the need for education, better conditions for work, and more choices for leading productive and creative lives. Higher level of literacy lead to greater economic outputs, higher employment and income levels, better health, better social structure, and a number of other development aspects. Without investment in quality education, progress in all development indicators will stagnate. I'm sure you're aware that in September 2015, Azerbaijan, along with 192 other UN member states, endorsed the 2030 Development Agenda for Sustainable Development, which identified 17 universal goals. Given the centrality of education to sustainable social and economic development and achievement of all 17 goals, a standalone goal number 4 was dedicated to education. It calls for ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all. It aims to provide, again, equal access to affordable vocational training, to eliminate gender and wealth disparities. The rector mentioned at the beginning how in Davos it was showed that 1% of the wealthy people pretty much controls the wealth of the world. And that is so important now to look at disparities in education and how we could change that. The central theme of the Sustainable Development Goal is that no one should be left behind. No child, no girl, and no young person, no one with disabilities. And therefore, it is important that we make education accessible to all segments of a society. In Azerbaijan, efforts to promote education have led to excellent level of enrollment in primary schools. Over 90% of primary school-age children are enrolled in formal education. The government has also placed greater focus on early learning and plans to expand coverage of school preparedness program in order to reach 90% of children age 5. During the last year, the government's school readiness program, which is supported by UNICEF, has been rolled out to 3,000 schools. This has resulted in training provided for over 3,700 teachers, which has benefited around 100,000 5-year-olds. The early childhood development is incredibly important for socioeconomic developments because children's brain capacity, behavior, and cognitive skills all advance at a tremendous rate during these formative years, as long as they are exposed to the right nurturing, stimuli, and protective environment. It's equally important that education becomes more available and accessible to children with disabilities. Enabling children with disability to participate in mainstream education and regular schooling not only creates more opportunity for their personal development, but it increases their potential to make a contribution to their communities. This can potentially lessen the pressure on public sector social welfare services and years to come. However, our record is mixed in the area of secondary education. Azerbaijan has not witnessed the same level of progress as it has in primary education. Data from UNESCO indicates that as many as 1 in 10 teenagers do not complete secondary school education in Azerbaijan. We know that children from poor families and girls are often the most likely to drop out from secondary school learning. Other forms of learning for young people, such as vocational training, emphasized in the government's new economic roadmap, can therefore help young people learn skills for gainful employment in the future. Vocational education packages should take into account the need of young people who have fallen out of the regular education system, or for whom current vocational training may present challenges, such as young people with disabilities. A wide range of learning opportunity for vulnerable young people can reduce future dependencies, with significant positive impact on public expenditure and growth. Moreover, quality, inclusive learning for all from an early age through adolescence to early childhood is the bedrock of sustainable development. The economic and social prospect of any nation depend greatly upon a well-educated generation of young people. Investing in education today delivers dividends that last long into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations will provide support to the government through coordinated policy advice, technical assistance, capacity development, and monitoring of progress at global, regional, and national levels. We will pay particular attention to our program intervention in sectors which will be instrumental to delivering sustainable social, economic progress in Azerbaijan and as well as that it's less harmful to the environment. We support the government in building multi-stakeholder partnership by engaging with a range of actors as part of our outreach. This year, I guess my time is running out, so maybe somebody deliberately send me a signal. I will be finished soon. This year we will launch an advocacy campaign on sustainable development goal, and we will engage all the educational institutions and academia in getting the message out about how important it is that we look at education as a cross-cutting theme and as an important pillar of sustainable development goal. This campaign will raise awareness both at the primary, secondary, and also tertiary level education institution. We stand ready to cooperate with you and with all the educational institutions, including the State University of Economics. Let me end with a quote from our former Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, who said, "Education is critical to nurture global citizens who can rise to the challenges of the 21st century." And let me also end with one other quote from one of the leading technology experts in the US, which said that in future there will be two types of jobs: those who will instruct the computers and those who will receive instruction from computers. So in terms of education, we have to really think where we invest our resources that is compatible to the needs of future generation. Otherwise, the education we have may become obsolete in 20, 30 years. Thank you very much and wish you all a successful year.